my gorgeous friends. Welcome to Tarot for Today. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. You are joining me here on the beautiful Gold Coast as we are looking at the beach. It is my happy place. I absolutely love it, and being near the water and seeing the sun sparkle on the ocean, it's absolutely stunning here today. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I am enjoying it. Look at that, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Sorry, that's wobbly. So we're going to do a tarot for today and see what wonderful things Spirit would like to share with you that helps you in your life, that helps you be more you. You know, what is it that you can let go of? What is it that's hindering you from being your most potent self? What sort of holds you back? So if you're new here, I generally use the tarot to tune into the energy that you're facing currently, and you'll know that it's your reading through that. And then I use Oracle to guide the best way forward. You are a sovereign being. And so my readings aren't really about telling your fortune, predicting your future. It's tuning into the energetic set point that you're currently at, and what may be hindering you from moving forward to reach that particular space. I do follow up with the Oracle as guidance, and so if you don't relate to the tarot component, you can fast forward to the Oracle section of the video, because there's always something that you can learn from that part of the messaging. My name's Lara Renee, and I'm a magnetic mind coach and artist, and I'm on a mission to inspire and empower people. Part of my work is through this channel to connect you to yourself. You know, I'm just someone who's here to point the way, and I'm actually pointing the way inward. I want to make that clear, because a lot of people that show up for tarot show up as powerless, and it's just not true. It's recognizing that you're in a pattern, and that pattern isn't necessarily working for you. And sometimes those patterns are driven from our earlier versions of ourselves. If you think about being in a bus, and every year there's a seat on the bus, and whoever you are today is the one driving, but it could be, you know, one of your inner children jumps the front seat and starts driving. Because a situation that you're facing activates the same emotional feeling that you had when you were that child experiencing that memory. As I said, I am a coach. My first passion is being an artist. So when I grow up, I want to be an artist. I do that more than anything. That's really where my heart lies. And so everything I do in this lifetime really is about self-expression. Through the canvas, through the acrylic paint. You know, I get messages that come through, and I need to draw it out. Literally and figuratively, now that I just said that. And I have a counselling diploma as well as a coaching certification, and I combine that to add value to my art and what it means. But underneath all that offering is me helping you express the truth of who you are. When we're young, we get born into a family system that's already been running long before you existed. And it's generations of beliefs being handed down and behaviours being handed down, and the way that you see things being handed down. And this is why things start to repeat over and over again. If you imagine your life here as you were born and you are given a suitcase, everybody around you is putting their ideas, their conditioning, their beliefs, behaviours into that suitcase, and at some point in your life you end up identifying with those clothes in there, and they aren't actually yours, they're just borrowed. Does that make sense? You're borrowing other people's stuff. It's just the way that humanity is. We want to pass things on, and not all of them are useful, not all of them are good, not all of them are really meant for what your purpose is. And so when you come to a reader or a counsellor or a coach or a mentor or guide, however you frame it, it's about unpacking that suitcase. You know, letting go of what doesn't serve you, letting go of, you know, what you've learned, or, you know, it might not serve you anymore, and so it's just a matter of unpacking the suitcase and letting some of those old clothes go, you know, and appreciating what it did for you at the time. But if it's no longer moving you towards your happiness and your joy, then it's time to, you know, move it on. And this is applied to all aspects of your life. You know, there's this an accumulation of things that you're putting into your suitcase. You can't put more in there if you're overloaded, overwhelmed, you know, taking on too much stuff. You're feeling confused, you're feeling, you know, tired all the time. That's how it shows up, and that is a sign for you to say, okay, the luggage is too heavy. It's a burden now. We need to lighten the load. Does that make sense for you? And so you're unpacking it, and whether you do it with yourself or whether you do it with someone, that is the purpose, so that A, the load is lighter, and B, you are more aware about what's in your container, what in your suitcase, sorry. And if you think about the suitcase being your unconscious mind, and you think that the clothes that have gone in there are the thoughts and the beliefs and the patterns, then it can help you understand why something might not work for you now. And, you know, you're feeling that tiredness because it's draining you. And so you're looking to pack a completely different suitcase for where you're going. You're not going to pack winter clothes if you're going into a tropical island. Does that make sense? I haven't even drawn the cards yet, so let's have a look-see, because I do have appointments to get to, but I just wanted to share this beautiful place with you. Funnily enough, it's 10 of Cups. Let me zoom out. We've got the 10 of Cups here. 10 of Cups is emotional fulfillment. You know, I'm living my emotional fulfillment with you right now as we sit here, and I'm looking out to the ocean. It's just good for my soul. You know, maybe it's having that partnership with someone, sharing a life together, building a life together. You know, it's the Cups is about relationships with yourself, with others. It's to do with water and it's emotion, and it is a happy card. So if you're finding at the moment that, you know, life is a bit of a struggle, it means that you've stepped away from what makes you happy. You know, and it's a matter of using that suitcase analogy or metaphor and going, is what's in my suitcase actually in alignment to where I want to be? Do I have the right outfit for the Gold Coast? Is this appropriate footwear when you're walking on the hot sand? You're allowed to be happy. You deserve to be happy. It's actually your human right to enjoy life. It's your place in the end to make that decision and say, you know, this is important to me, this is what makes me happy, this is what makes me feel aligned. These are how I define that sense of happiness. I'm a water sign, so being near the water makes me absolutely soul nourished next to painting. And it's important that you understand what makes you happy. And I think a lot of you tend to negotiate your happiness in favor of duty. You've got to do this, you've got to go to work, you've got to pay the bills, you've got to, you know, put all these conditions on the fact that you just want to kick back and enjoy yourself. Now, there's so much going on in the world right now, and we can get caught up in the drama of it. You've got to make space for yourself to relax. You have to make a conscious effort to do that, because we can be so pulled into the stuff, and everyone's loading all their stuff into your suitcase and you're loading yours into theirs. And do you see what it means to be lugging around this suitcase and wondering why you're tired and why some of the clothes in your suitcase don't fit, and whose sock is that? Whose undies are those? You know, it's the space of coming back to who you are, peeling off all the layers and letting go of that conditioning so that you can come back and recognize, oh, why do I eat that? I don't even like that, but it's supposed to be healthy. It's supposed to do all these things for you, but guess what? I don't even like it. I just do it because that's what I'm supposed to do. These are rules, these are conditions, and rules and conditions are useful in the right context. I think a lot of that goes unspoken in all the learning circles. You know, they miss the other side of the coin. That's part of, like, the binary components that make up the whole, and you have to know what binary you're playing in. That's a conversation for another day. Don't really want to go deep with that one at the moment. So just ask yourself, where is your fulfillment? Is your life in balance if you're not feeling fulfillment? And what can you adjust in your schedule to make it happen? Because nobody can do it for you in the end. You have to take charge and take ownership that you deserve to have your wants and needs met. It's a gorgeous day. I'm quite surprised I pulled out the 10 of Cups, because that's how I'm feeling. And I want you to feel that too. So I've pulled out the Emperor in reverse, just to support this particular card. Because I think for some of you, you're overthinking it and you're overly structured and overly conditioning, overly scheduled, overly rigid, that what you thought was going to make you feel happy and fulfilled isn't, because there's the energy of it's got to be done this way. I've got to do it at that time. There's nothing wrong with that, because it serves a purpose, just not 24/7. You need to have that breathing space to allow yourself to enjoy and relax. And now for some of you who have tuned in and listening, that rigidity, that scheduling is in order for you to have a sense of control over your life. You know where everything is. You know what time you're supposed to be there. You know what the role you're supposed to play. You know, have this certain certainty, which gives you a sense of control, which gives you a sense of safety. Okay, now this is a card of enjoyment. You know, there's the rainbow, there's the 10 of cups, there's the fulfillment, there's the happy families, there's a beautiful day, and you know, everyone's enjoying themselves. The Emperor is a very sovereign being who brings the order to things. He is the masculine that is the equal party to the Empress. Now he comes after the Empress actually. She's the one that sets the scene. He's the one that brings order to it. And so there is a sense of timing and who you partner up with in order to have the happiness that you're seeking. There needs to be that looseness around it. There needs to be that, you know, think of an empty suitcase. Let's just say you decided that you wanted a life change. You came to me and I said to you, right, let's just chuck everything out of the suitcase. How do you respond? Because some of you are going to be very fearful. There's a lot of emotional attachment into the identity of what's inside that suitcase. And yet, if you let that go, you get the freedom that you're actually seeking. And there's more room to flow. You have an empty suitcase, which then we would consciously work together to say what would make you happy. Now, not everybody likes the beach. Maybe you like the mountains. You know, maybe you like the desert. Maybe you like the snow. There is no right or wrong. It's just what lights your heart up. And from there, from that desire, then you're able to go, okay, so what can I put into the suitcase that matches that desire? Do you see what I'm saying? I'm saying it several times because that's the theme of the message. I do repeat myself, especially when it's important that you capture the essence of the message. And you might get it at the top level, but I am speaking to your unconscious, allowing you and all the levels of you and all the versions of you up until this very day come to an arrangement and an agreement of whether you hang on or you let go. There's some things that you could bring with you in, you know, like in terms of, you know, how to dress yourself. That's something that you need to know. You're not going to learn right from zero. So there's certain things in your life that have helped you get to where you are. On a side note, the wounds that you have also help you, and the Emperor is here to show that, because He is the one that brings the structure. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a schedule and a timetable or planning thoroughly. Okay, there's a time and place for it though. There's a time and place to just not have any commitments, not have anything scheduled, and allow yourself that freedom to flow and just be inside that time frame. It's called presence. You're not trying to get to the next thing. You're not trying to lock it into, you know, a set time frame. You are present. I'm going to pull out an oracle. I'm going to do an oracle for this because I just realised that I'm so absorbed in the scenery that I don't want to be late for my situation. Speaking of which, yeah, the Emperor's in reverse. He's not in his powerful self. He's in his shadows. And that's, you know, something that shows up. You know, how are you feeling about being happy? You know, do you have to put a condition on it? Do you have to make it a certain way in order for it to be allowed? Alright, so we've got the bat. The bat is be flexible, prepare for rebirth, the time is now, the power is you. I don't know what else to say to that. I think I covered it before I even pulled the cards. So, you know, take this as you will. Some of you are very literal thinkers and you need to hear the words that are actually on the cards themselves, and some of you understand the abstract. Alright, the bat flies at night time and they use sonar. I think that's what you call it. You know, they're blind, so they have to use their other senses. And this is the invitation to get out of your head and start using your other senses. And you don't have to go big and hard and fast so that your whole system gets, you know, dysregulated and then you tell yourself that it didn't work. Some of you need to be aware. It doesn't have to have conditions. Allow yourself to learn. You know, you can't be both energies, one where one is completely rigid and the other is so loose it's all over the place. You know, so meditate on that. Enjoy letting the reins go for a bit and allowing yourself to just flow. I don't know what else to say. You know, it is being flexible. It is inviting you to understand that you're moving into a different phase of your life where you will be reborn into a much more balanced, whole version of you, your fullest potential, who you came to be initially. You know, letting go of that conditioning so that you can put yourself at the forefront, because you only get one life and it's your life to live. Reality is nobody else can tell you how to live your life. Well, they can tell you, but you're the one that has to act it out, so you get to decide if that's the right action for you. We are near an airport, so that's why you can hear the aeroplane going over the top of us. I'm going to pick you an affirmation, because I could sit here talking to you all day and just enjoy it. What is the best energy set point for the people watching right now in relation to what we've just spoken on? Interesting. I am at peace with my age. Okay, friends. You've got a bus, whatever age you are, 26, 36, 46, 56, 66, 76, 86, 96, you're the one driving. Okay? You are where you are, it's okay. And everyone in the back seat is a version of who you used to be. Just be at peace with that. There is no time. And if you're experiencing something where you're feeling a change, or you're feeling left behind, or you're too far ahead, or you're this, here, there, and everywhere, let go of the rigidity around that. Because you are where you are. You've learnt what you learnt. This is your suitcase. Chuck it out or don't. What does the back say? It says, each age has its own special joys and experiences. I am always the perfect age for where I am in life. Okay? It is peace. The energy is about peace. It's also about acceptance. Don't fight who you are. Don't fight your age. Don't fight what's in the suitcase if you want to keep it. Okay, if you really love that top, if you really love eating that food, if you really love exercising, if you really love that thing, keep it in the suitcase. Or don't. You're allowed to chuck it away. You're allowed. Some of you might be younger tuning in, some of you might be older, some of you might be at the same age that I'm at. You know, there's a life cycle and stages that we go through. Maturity level. It's just the level, it's just the level that you're at. And then the next year comes and you're at a different level of experience. If you're repeating patterns, you're just stuck on the merry-go-round and you're getting off it. Alright? And the whole point of this reading is about emotional fulfillment. And I need to take my own advice, because out there is absolutely effing gorgeous. And it's what makes me happy. I don't feel like I have to be anyone or do anything or impress anyone or be anywhere in a hurry. I do actually today. So I'm going to schedule in another date with myself down to the beach and just hang out and just enjoy it. But I want to send you a lot of love, whatever you're going through. Think about that suitcase and what's in it. I don't know how many times I've said it now on this thing, but there you go. Take a shot every time you've heard it. There you go, my friends. It's a beautiful day. Tap into your fullest potential by letting everything go that no longer serves you. Sending you love. If you'd like assistance, do reach out. You know, I'm not going to lock you into anything. We will have a chat and make sure that we're the right fit for each other. But don't feel like you have to remain stuck or fighting it out for yourself. You know, you don't have to do that. Sending you lots of love. I shall sign off and catch you in the next one. Bye for now.